I'd love to pass it on now to Samyak, who has been waiting for almost 2 hours. Thank you for your patience. From
Hey.
Instadapp, and I understand there's an effort to move to some sort of decentralization as well. So we'd love to hear where you're at and what you'd like to discuss with all of us here today.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Samyak from Instadapp, and we will be launching our token and governance this month with our new protocol that we are calling DeFi Smart Layer, which will be a totally new kind of smart accounts with a lot more new functionalities where the governance is a lot more needed because it might affect real users' assets. So uh till now, like the smart accounts, they were like it's a smart account where like users are using to secure their assets and then doing atomic transaction composabilities and all those kind of things, but they were like very limited. With the new smart account, I would say we introduced one thing that governance can add new functionalities, which we are calling as modules. So there could be possibly infinite amount of modules that governance can enable, and each module will have different kind of functionality for different kinds of users. So which directly affects the user's smart account. So I'll give you an example. Like there is a module which is the main module from which owner will interact. Now let's say governance added one more module, which is a flash loan module. So that will enable any users in the ecosystem to borrow assets from any users who is managing their funds on DeFi DSA. So let's say there is a whale user who is managing $1 billion assets on DSA, then you can actually borrow his assets and use it anywhere in the DeFi to do a flash loan transactions. So currently, like it will enable the deep flash loan liquidity. So basically, could be the biggest flash loan in the ecosystem because let's say if you take the Aave, which is the biggest flash loan right now, it has a capacity of borrowing 200, 300 million DAI because that's the liquidity available in the Aave right now. But if you take MakerDAO, Compound, and Aave all together, then you can access 1 billion DAI liquidity at once. So with DSA, you can access, like if governance enable flash loan module, then anyone can access flash loan from any of the protocols through any users through multiple DSAs and can do really huge transactions which weren't possible before. So this is just one example how governance can add different kind of module. Now, yeah, so this is just one example, and there could be infinite modules. Like one module that we are focusing on is the interoperability between chains. So we'll start with mainnet and Polygon, and in that module, user can connect their smart account, like version one, mainnet smart account to Polygon smart account, and then they could do trustless migration of their debt position, refinancing, or anything. So this is like a module that governance will enable, and then smart account will be able to communicate different chains, totally trustless. So yeah, and there could be many different modules like Guardian modules, which will help users secure their assets and all those things and connect. So yeah, I mean, so that is the core place where the governance is needed, and governance can also enable fees and all the other different things for protocol revenue in near terms and automations and many other kind of things for managing the position in the best way possible. And as we are growing, we are now currently focusing more on the infrastructure and having contributions from many different ends. So like we have already got like 3 protocols who have built the connectors for themselves, because once they connect to this layer, they have access to all the other big protocols, MakerDAO, Compound, Aave, and they are composable with all the other protocols. So like 3 protocols, good protocols have already built the connectors to connect themselves. Will make them live in next couple of weeks. Then there are like the developers who will be focusing on the modules, which will be team or the external developers who wants to provide value to the Instadapp ecosystem, and then there will be the developers who can build UIs on top of it. So UIs can be an application like, I would say, Argent, to provide super secure way to interact with the DeFi, or the UI can be the current Instadapp, which will provide a highly extensible and complex strategies for users to maximize their gains. So it's like they can use different components in different parts, and it's just an infrastructure layer which is very flexible, and infinite things can be added to this layer. So yeah, that's what we are focusing on.